Last week, some talk radio stations in Kansas City were preparing for their viewers for riots. If George Zimmerman was to be acquitted, the powder keg of tension was considered so great, Kansas City Police Chief Darrell Forte was calling for calm in advance of the jury's verdict. Mayor Sly James also called for peace. The KCPD locked down the plaza Saturday night and throughout the weekend in fears of what might happen. But after all the warnings and concerns, what was the local reaction? Eric?
Really nothing. There was a couple of rallies. There was a march. I think they marched from 31st and Benton to the Freedom Fountain on Brush Creek. There was a rally there. The issues were confusing because the rally was supposed to be about Trayvon Martin. When people got there, they flipped it to talk about local homicides and local issues. But there was really no violent outbursts. No, I don't think anybody really expected it. I think a lot of blogging, a lot of internet was all these kids are going to run to the plaza, they're going to tear things up. I don't think it was ever really a climate for that in Kansas City.
Well, and I think Eric's right on. Look, this came as a result of some irresponsible blogging and some irresponsible journalism, and then knee-jerk reaction, I think, from city leaders. It was one narcissistic, so-called self-crime fighter and comic book artist who has a Twitter feed with about 200 followers that started to sound the alarm. Well, he was picked up by a blogger that then made local media, talk shows, as well as television, pick up the story, and then the mayor and the chief felt obligated to respond. And it was all more or less a powder keg that I don't think really existed. And in a way, it was very demeaning to the population that they said would run out and do these things. Look, rioting's a criminal act. There's arson, there's assault, there's burglary, there's criminal mischief. And for people such as these bloggers and this crime fighter to say that these people were going to go out and commit those acts really degrades them. And it was offensive. And there's no evidence that it was ever even a real issue here.
I agree totally, and it's not the first time, and it's a situation where if something happens, oh, I told you it was going to happen, but if it doesn't happen, then I prevented it from happening by letting people know. But there was never a climate for anything like that.
There was some second guessing about the mayor and the chief both putting out press releases saying, in essence, don't do anything wrong, that may be potentially exacerbating the situation, and you did hear from some people saying maybe that wasn't the best strategy.
Well, but I'm not sure they weren't doing that in response to media inquiries either. You know, I don't know that they would.
Because they're pushed to say, what are you doing?
What are you doing about this? How are you preparing for this potential eventuality? And so my sense is that's what they were doing, not that they did it on their own or they were
because
trying.
Because the mayor wasn't even in town.
Right.
Well, he was here most of the week, but I don't, you know, like I said, I believe they were responding to requests.
I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just saying you could hear that chatter.